start with Jerome. And Jerome, please tell the listening audience what the Minorities in Manufacturing program is.
Okay, first of all, Latanya, thanks for having us. And to clarify a little bit about minorities in manufacturing, it was a grant given by the Department of Labor to train minorities in the CNC operations as far as with manufacturers. And a lot of the manufacturers in this area are in need of CNC operators. So what we, through Hawkeye Community College, are doing is we are actually offering CNC training to minority individuals in the community to upskill them, to allow them to get into the workforce and have a decent paying job.
Okay, and so can you tell us if there is a cost?
This particular program, Minorities in Manufacturing, there is no monetary cost per se. It's basically what it's going to require is you making a time commitment. And just so that you know, we are going to be starting June 23rd. We have a full class at this point in time. 14 individuals is the maximum that we can have in a class based on our constraints size-wise. And the individuals in this class are a wide range. It encompasses young, old, different ethnicities. We have 4 females in the class. And it's basically to give those individuals an opportunity to get into a job where they can provide for a family. They're good paying jobs.
Okay, and I know the program started a year ago?
Yes, we did start with African Americans in manufacturing a year ago with a pilot program. And we did have success with that program, but what we have come to find out through talking with the employers in the community, and actually nationwide, there is a big shortage of industrial individuals, a bigger shortage of CNC, computer numerical control machine operators, okay? And by talking with these employers, we've come to find out that basically for an employer to hire someone, it's over $1 million investment through the life of that employee, okay? And most employers go through 10 in order to find one employee. So there's a big investment that an employer has to go through in the hiring process, okay? And by talking with the employers around here, we've also found that they recognize that there is a tremendous amount of workers in our community, whether they be minorities or not, young or old.
Okay. But
they cannot hire them because they do not have the skill level. Some of that has to do with the contracts that these employers are under. When seniority comes around and they need to hire a CNC operator, they can only hire the most senior person that bids on the job. And if that senior person doesn't have any CNC experience, then they can't fill that spot. So when they are hiring someone, even for a chip hauler or a janitor or something of that nature, they're hiring people with expertise such that they do not get into any contractual obligations when they go to bidding on a job.
wow.
And so there's a great amount of people around here, and we've even talked to them about the GEDs and the felonies and things of that nature, and they're more concerned with people with expertise, because you know everybody's had some problems in the past or made some bad decisions, and so this is an opportunity to give them a second chance, and the employers of this community want this to be very successful.
Okay, and that was Mr. Mosley, and he just gave us some awesome information. So I just want to put that shout out there.
Latanya, one of the things that I do want to point out is like I said, we have a full class at this point in time, but we are still accepting applications. You can get those from the Metro Center. And we also, our intent is to train individuals as long as there is interest.
Okay.
So right now we have, like I said, a full class. We have some more applications in. We don't know exactly how many, but as according to our dean out at Hawkeye, Ray Beats, we will be continuing to accept applications. As long as there's interest, we will continue to train.
Okay, because I know there have been a number of people calling the Martin Luther King Center, inquiring about the program as well. And then how long does it run for?
The program, actually, we've got it set up to last 3 months per
Okay.
session, and if we can get done before then, we will, but our goal is to have it to where not only do you get the skill sets necessary to be able to operate that CNC, we will also be working with soft skills. One of our other instructors, Mike Cook, is going to be working with us as far as giving people that information with the soft skills, mock interviews, those types of things, so that they have a better chance of actually, when they talk to that employer, get into an interview, they have a better sense of what it is that they need in order to get their foot in the door.
And can you explain what some of the classes entail?
Sure, it's with a CNC, with machining, you have to have some math skills, you have to be able to read blueprints, you have to be able to use measuring equipment. All of these things we will be teaching. We're not only using books, but we'll also have some software which is called Immerse to Learn. It's actually a virtual control in a virtual machine. You can actually operate that machine, program it, and do all the things that you would do like if you were in an actual factory.
And so this training is going to be very extensive, and as you can imagine with 12 weeks, what we're trying to do is to make a good industrial citizen, okay? We're going to take these students and we're going to start them on the ground floor with a tremendous amount of safety. There's going to be a lot of math, a lot of blueprint reading, okay? Soft skills, as Jerome has mentioned, interview skills, resume building skills. We want to be able to make a good corporate citizen so that the employers out there, they can save a lot of money by coming to our classes and looking at our students as opposed to perhaps maybe workforce development or something like that. Now granted, we do not and cannot guarantee that anyone will be able to get a job or an interview after this process. But as you can imagine, logically speaking, if they can save tremendous amounts of money by using our students, then this is the avenue that I believe that they're going to take.
And then what if a student, their math skills aren't as good as someone else's?
Well, this environment that we're going to foster in our class is a helping environment.
Okay.
There will be no one that will be left behind in our class.
Correct.
All of our students will graduate this class at an above 80 percentile rating. We will not ostracize anyone, and if someone is a little slower than someone else on a skill or something of that nature, then we're going to slow down and we're going to make sure that they understand before we move on, so that everyone is at the same level continually. And it will be a helping hands type of situation because all of our students bring something to the table. And we're going to utilize everyone's talents to make everyone successful.
One of the beauties of this software, this Immersive to Learn software that we will be using, each student works at their own individual pace, and we as instructors have the ability to go in as they're taking tests, evaluate, and we can see if there's an issue as far as from a math standpoint, that they're slow there. Bob and I are both going to be in the classroom, and if we see someone who is not getting something, we have the ability to go to that individual and work with them separately in order to try and get them up to speed.
Okay, great.
But like Bob says, no one in our minds will be failing this class. We're bringing everybody along.
Great. And I just want to change gears quickly and let the listening audience know about our upcoming Juneteenth activities. And they will start on tomorrow, Wednesday, June 18th, which is my birthday. But they will start on tomorrow, Wednesday, June 18th, and we'll have prayer service at the courthouse at 12 noon. And then that evening, Sister Soldier Network will have prayer service from 7 to 9 p.m. at Faith Temple Church, located at 325 East Park Avenue. And then on Thursday, June 19th, we are having Black and Brown Day, and this is something new. And we're trying to bring the African American community and the Hispanic community together. And we will be in Lincoln Park, and that's located at East 4th and Franklin Street from 4 until 8 p.m. And various vendors will be in the park, and we will have poets and dancing and various speakers. support our Juneteenth events. And then on Friday, June 20th, we will have Crossover for Jesus basketball, and that will be at Gates Park. Derek Salas is heading that up, and it will begin at 4 p.m. And then that evening from 6 to 8 p.m., Sister Soldier Network will have their gospel night out, and that will be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church, and highlighting that will be Clarence Williams and the Rising Sons. And then on Saturday, June 21st, the Crossover for Jesus Basketball Championship games will begin at 8 a.m. at Gates Park. And then we will have the NAACP Peace March with the Crusaders drill team leading the way. We will start at Union Baptist Church and then march to Gates Park, and that will begin at 10 a.m. And if you're interested in participating in the march, just contact myself at the Martin Luther King Center, because we're looking for organizations and businesses and anyone that's working with youth to participate with us, because we're trying to bring our community together, and our theme has always been unity in the community, and there has been so much negativity going on in our community, so we just want to show everyone that we can come together. And so we will have, again, that Peace March beginning at 10 a.m. And then once you get to Gates, the basketball games will be going on. We'll have a health fair, we'll have Zumba, we'll have music, and then we'll shift gears from Gates and move down to the museum lot, and we'll have poetry and again, activities for the kids, and that will be from 3 to 9, and that's located at East 4th and Adams Street. And then on Sunday, June 22nd, we will have Sunday service at 11 a.m. in Sullivan Park, and Reverend Yvette Creighton will bring the message. And then Shoutmore Records will have gospel performances, and that will begin roughly around 12:30. And then we will have a softball game by Tyson's and the Waterloo PD, and that will also take place in Sullivan Park beginning at 4 p.m. So we have some great events planned for this year, and so again, we're asking the entire community to come out and support our efforts in bringing unity to the community. So with that said, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in a moment.
I see a great need in my community.
You guys did good.
By working with youth in the
Does
juvenile
Martin Luther
justice
King
system,
Jr. Center have those applications? Okay, well, I didn't say that, I just said the federal
Yeah,
center.
yeah.
you can use the skills that help you
Reiterate
through a
that, and then I
lifetime
want you guys to talk about how you
giving,
became
teaching, and working.
lead back in
Go
with
to
how you became
getinvolved.gov or
involved
call
with it, and then,
1-800-424-8867
But
to find
it's
out how
like,
you can
I'm in
volunteer
school now, and math was my weakest subject,
and make our country
but I
stronger.
ended up with a B+.
Retired people have a lot to offer.
And that's our goal,
Life
is
experience.
even if your math
What are you
skills
going
are
to do
not
with
where they
your
need to be
lifetime
at, with this
experience?
software,
Go
the
to
immersive learning stuff, it
getinvolved.gov
actually taught you
or
through
call
the different.
1-800-424-8867.
What are the skills
We have
required?
so much to offer.
Basically, the
and our
blueprint
nation
reading is just
needs us.
basically a
Make a
visualization.
difference in our
Understand.
generation.
Oh, okay.
Understand, knowing what you're looking at.
By the
Yeah.
Corporation
Oh, okay.
for
I didn't know
National
that.
Community
Okay.
Service.
And we're back, and I would like to thank our listening audience for turning in to another edition of Hawkeye Community College's Opening Doors. And in the studio with me today, I have Jerome Amos and Robert Mosley. And before the break, we were talking about the Minorities in Manufacturing program currently at Hawkeye Community College. So Jerome, can you again tell the listening audience who may just be tuning in a little bit about that program?
Okay, once again, the Minorities in Manufacturing program is a program that was a grant given by the U.S. Department of Labor. It's a training program to give individuals the skill sets necessary, in order to be able to present themselves to an employer and hopefully get a job. One of the things, Latanya, that I did not mention before is I believe also that you can pick up the Minorities in Manufacturing application from Martin Luther King Jr. Center also.
Yes, you can.
Okay, if you have any questions as far as the actual program, it's a 3-month-long program. It will be 4 days a week, 8 to noon, starting the 23rd of June, this particular one. We will be, as long as there is interest, we will continue to train individuals in the community. You kind of wanted us to reiterate as far as how we got involved with this. I'm a 33-year John Deere retiree, ran CNCs for the last 15 years I was in there, and because of a luncheon that I was invited to out at the college, and we were going around introducing ourselves, the dean actually got wind of me and offered me this training position,
Okay,
and I
great,
accepted. So.
great. And so,
As well, I'm also a retired John Deere employee. I've done several tool-making jobs before I got to John Deere, machinist and tool-making expertise. And as a change of career, when I got to John Deere, I got into electricity, so I ended up being a maintenance electrician and retiring in that capacity. I got involved with minorities in manufacturing through Ray Beats, as well as Mike Cook and Carl Carey and Ruben Stigler. We all started this with also Lisa Washington as one of our instructors in this minority in manufacturing, and she was also on the ground floor with the other program. And they were looking for people with expertise and also people of color, that we can bridge that gap and take down some of the perhaps fear
right,
that's associated when you're talking about mathematics or machining or things of that nature. And a lot of people in our community, a lot of the young people in our community really don't have a sense of what the industrial environment is and what it can do for you and your family, okay? Because we're talking about six-figure jobs here, okay? And we're talking about taking an individual that has absolutely no industrial experience. And when they get done with this 12-week course, they will not only have industrial experience, they will be able to write their own program that they design and they build, and they will be able to run that program on a computer numerical control machine to turn out a part. And so that's very aggressive training, but it's training that our employers out here are starving for.
okay. And then, what are some of the requirements to get in the program?
There are no requirements, there's no prerequisite in order to get into this program. We don't care what your background is or anything else. Our goal is to give you the skill sets necessary to become that individual that the company's looking for.
Okay, and then I know earlier you said there was no cost.
Yes,
So-
that's correct. There is absolute, the only cost to this program for the individual is their time. And that is part of what we emphasize when we interview them, is to get them to understand that if you miss a day or two of this, you'll be left behind. So our goal is to get everybody there on time, punctual, so that we can train them and give them the skill sets necessary to get that job.
So I guess the only thing that a person really needs is the desire and the fortuitousness to want to stick with it and want to have a better career and a better station in life. And if they can bring that to the table, we can bring all the training, because the training that we're going to be giving them is threefold. They're going to get training from three different aspects so that they can totally understand what's going on. We're not using one specific medium, we're using three different mediums, taking the best out of everything, putting it together to make a program that I believe is one of the only programs like this in the country.
Okay, wow, that is great. And then, when, I know you said when they're finished with the program, there's no guarantee that they will become employed, but their outlook is much greater.
Yes.
Well, we do have the commitment from human resource individuals in the community.
Okay.
I believe there's some upwards of 8 to 9 different businesses.
Okay.
And we do have an open door policy at our facility, and we have the commitment from HR people that they will be coming around to our classes, because again, as I said, we're trying to make a good corporate citizen.
Right.
And when you have the HR people that are coming around seeing professionals learning the job that they have to do, then you know the chances are that they're still going to be there. And I want to take the time right now to thank the HR people that have shown an interest in our program, and that is helping spur this initiative. And we invite all the employers around the community to come down to the Metro Center and check out what our professional students are doing, and that'll give you a sense of their commitment.
One of the things, LaTanya, I want to reiterate is this is a certificated program. You'll receive a certificate at the end of it. There are no college credits involved with it at this time, but that is something that we're also looking at is potentially making this a 4-credit program.
Okay, and then if it becomes a 4-credit program, will it still be free or will there be a cost?
Actually, right now, the Center for Business and Industry out in Cedar Falls has a program that is basically identical to what we are doing here. We have a grant. The Center for Business and Industry, it's a fee for it, but they also have avenues for individuals to get help with that program. So it's basically, we're helping our community, just like when Bob and I started at Deers, there were individuals before us who ensured that we were able to get into Deers and get a decent paying job in that. Well, Bob and I are at that point in our lives where that role is on us now.
Exactly, a form of giving back, which is a good thing. And then I wanted to ask about the previous class. Do you know how many of those individuals completed the class, and if they are, and how many are employed?
The previous class you're talking about, the one that they had before?
Yes.
That, Bob, you could probably speak to that better than I could.
Well, what our initiative was before, and it has changed, our drive has changed because of the type of grant that we're under right now, and because now, the difference between before and now is that we have a complete buy-in from the manufacturing community, because we're trying to give a product that they're going to try and hire. Okay, the pilot program before was very successful. We did have all of the individuals that went through that program did graduate at a very high percentile, and I believe there was about 1 or 2 of them that did end up with being able to get a job behind the completion of that program. So the program was successful. The initiative now has changed because the buy-in from the manufacturing community is much different than it was last year.
One of the things that I did have an opportunity to do last November, LaTanya, was train 10 John Deere employees. None of them were machinists. They were assemblers and truckers. Exact same program, and those 10 individuals, just like Bob said at the end, and they only trained for a month, 8 hours a day. But those individuals, by the time they had completed that class, were able to do exactly what Bob said, write programs, operate equipment, all of those things. And the software and the books that we have will give the individuals the skill sets necessary. So it's just a matter of, it's an opportunity for people in the community to look at a way to improve their lifestyle.
Okay, and I know you said the upcoming class starts June 23rd.
Yes.
And it is full.
It is full.
But you're still accepting applications?
Yes, we are. And we will, as long as individuals show an interest, the dean is telling us that we will be training as long as we have the individuals to train.
Because there is a possibility that we could even add night classes to this mix. Because we do have, again, the employers in the community they need the employees. And so that's not going to change in the near future. We just need the minority community to step up, fill out the applications, and have the time enough to just, stick to it, and let's get it done.
Okay, and right now the class times are what?
The class time, it's Monday through Thursday, 8 in the morning till noon.
8 to noon, okay,
Yes.
great. And before we wrap up, again, I just want to reiterate that we will be celebrating Juneteenth, and it will begin on Wednesday, June 18th. We'll have prayer at the courthouse at 12 noon, and then that evening prayer service will be at Faith Temple Church, 325 East Park Avenue from 7 to 9 p.m. And then on Thursday, we will have Black and Brown Day, and that will be in Lincoln Park from 4 to 8 p.m. Friday, Crossover for Jesus Basketball, Gates Park, beginning at 4 p.m. Sister Soldier Network Gospel Night Out at Mount Carmel Baptist Church with the Rising Sons, beginning at 6 p.m. And then we will have on Saturday, June 21st, Crossover for Jesus basketball championship games beginning at 8 a.m. And Derek Salas is in charge of that at Gates Park. We will have the NAACP Peace March with the Union Baptist Crusaders drill team beginning at 10 a.m. And then we will have the health fair at Gates Park, Zumba, and a lot of other activities going on. Rhythm and Blues will be at the museum lot, East 4th and Adams Street from 3 to 9. And then on Sunday, we'll have Sunday service in Sullivan Park beginning at 11 a.m. And then Shoutmore Records will have gospel performances beginning at 12:30. And then we will have a softball game by the Waterloo PD against Tyson's. And that will begin at 4 p.m. Various vendors will be at the events throughout the week, and we're just encouraging the entire community to come out and help us celebrate our 19th annual Juneteenth celebration. And if you have any questions, you can call me at 296-4440. And I would just like to thank my guests today, Jerome Amos and Robert Mosley. And you've been listening to Hawkeye Community College's Opening Doors. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, and happy early birthday.
Well, that's good. So then, when they sign up, is it like a first come, first serve, or how's that?
Basically, what we had an interview process that we went through. We had a deadline. We had 19 individuals that, for that first
You
group.
can listen to your show this evening at 7.
Okay. I'll probably be at the college teaching anyway.